Welcome back, everybody, to Unconditional Surrender in Europe, game designed by Salvatore Vasta, published by GMT Games. I'm Dren608. If you like what you're seeing here, hit that thumbs up button. It helps the algorithms in YouTube get this thing seen by people who are searching for videos on Unconditional Surrender. If you really like what you're seeing, go ahead and subscribe, and you'll be notified of any other videos that I'm uploading whenever I do it. And we are continuing in the Thousand Year Reich series. We are getting ready to do, where's the turn track? November 1944 is where we're starting up. So we're getting very near the end here. And we'll go ahead and just get started. See how things go. That was us correcting a few things on the off-board maps. We're into production. Nobody declared war. I mean, there's like Bulgaria and Ireland and Portugal. There's nothing really to declare war on. The Germans are up to 30. British are up to 20, 34. The Germans are at 33, 32. Where are they? Why do I have them at 33? I think they gave a point to somebody. Maybe to Spain? No. For some reason he's at 33 and I don't know why. I think he gave a point to somebody. But I don't see it. So maybe we got off by one here. He should have... He's down 6 factories, so he should be at 9 plus 7, which is 16. He should be at 32. We have him at 33. So that's not good on my part. So we're into strategic warfare. The Germans have an airplane and Stavanger. And the Russians have 4 because there are 10 conquered countries. So he rolled a 5 plus 1. We didn't have anything to play. Or did we? No, nobody had anything to play on his side. So he rolled a 5 plus 1 is a 6. And I rolled a 6 plus 4, which is a 10. So he got another factory lost. Then he went up to being plus 4. And I'm plus 7 because I have a whole bunch of... bombed markers here. We've taken to the convention of after we've actually done the bombing runs and hit the cities, we just stack them up in this mountain hex so the Germans don't have to go through bombed markers in their stacks. So I have 4 there, so why am I plus 7? It should be plus 6. There we are. And then I went ahead and played an ultra. He rolled a 1 plus 4, which halved down to a 3. I rolled a 7, so it was a good thing that I did, because that way I got another lost factory on him. And my ultra comes back in 3 turns. So now we're into strategic movement. Get the dash tracks down. He takes a guy that's in Stuttgart and moves him over to Russia here. I think he took too many guys. I think when he picked up his thing, he picked up the infantry unit, which was down here, which you'll see us put back here in just a second. So he moves up this infantry to surround the shock army. He's like, I got to get rid of this shock army. So he comes after him with 3 units, and there we are. We corrected the infantry unit that was missing in Romania. I think we go to combat commitment here. And then just doing the math, he's got a German for 2, and then 2 buddies. It's 3, 4. And he's isolated, so that's 5, 6. And then -1 for the weather, -1 for the city. So he's plus 4 to plus 1 to start with. I think we're in combat commitment now. We both committed. So Threw in a ground support for the Vichy unit. So he went up to +5. And I threw in an airplane. He didn't have any airplanes to counter me. So I went up to +2. So it's +5 to +2. And then he throws a tank too. So he went up to +6. And he rolled a 1. So that's a 7. The weather is poor in the cold zone. It's severe in the mild zone. Poor in the cold zone. In the warm zone. So he rolled a 7. I rolled a 3. So I flipped. And he said, okay, I'll bring in the Panzer. He's trying to figure out how to bring him in. Rolled for his ground support. Brings his Panzer in over here. So he's 3, 4, 5 minus 2, so he's +3. And then he brings in garrison unit to be +4 to my -1. And I said, what the heck? And he went 5. I rolled he ended up 1 + 4 is a 5. I rolled a 5. -1 is a 4, which is not enough to make me retreat, so I'm not dead yet. So I managed to survive in Kaunas for a little while. That was us adjusting his production. And then he decided he wants to push me back behind the river here in the Pripyat marshes. So he's going to be 2, 3, 4. I think we go to combat commitment. He threw in a tanks. And I throw in an airplane. It's way down in Sonati. It just barely reaches. So I went ahead and used that airplane because it's severe here in the mild zone, so I can't use airplanes down here in Romania. So I figured I'd use one that's far away. See if it made a difference. So I got up to +2. So he's 2 for German, 1 for a buddy, and then the Italian thinks he's a tank, so he's +2. So that's 2, 3, 4, 5, -2 because of the weather and the swamp. So it's +3 to +2. Why is he up to... Oh, he threw in a ground support for... because he's using a Yugoslav. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4. And this guy thinks he's in armor, so 5, 6, -2. So he's +4 to +2. He rolls a 1 again. So that's a grand total of 5. At +2, I need to roll a 1 to fail, and I did not, so I hold the hex. Get those assault markers off. And then he rolls a 5 for that ground support, so it's not coming back till April. And then he moves this army up. Moves the Romanian up to there. Moved the Vichy and the Spanish up here, and I think they went ahead and did an attack here in Sibir on Patton, just to try and see if they can make a move. He rolled a 2 + 2, which is a 2. I rolled a 2 + 1, which is a 2, so nothing happened. And he's going to... He's going to do an assault here on the 1st Canadian. The SS Panzer is +3 to begin with. And he's got a German for +4, so he's +4 to +1 and halved. He rolled a 4 + 4, which is a 4. I rolled a 5 + 1 is a 6, halved down to a 3. So I held that hex. And then he tries to do it again on the 1st French Army. I think he just... he picking up assault markers, and it's taking the units with it. And so he's got the 2, and another buddy is 3. So he's +3 to +1, I think. So 3 + 3 is a 3, and then a 2 + 1 is a 2. So I hold that hex. And then the Turks come down here to keep me from running over towards Damascus. He's just kind of containing me. And he moves this low supply. Italian starts moving up to the north. So now we're into Western actions. He did his supply, and now we're doing Western actions. And I said, okay, well, let's see if we can push the Vichy Rolled a 5 plus 2 is halved down to a 4. He rolled a 5, which is halved down to a 3. Shouldn't do anything. Then I said, well, let's see if we can do something about Paris. So I attacked there with 1, 2, and I'll be halved, and he's a 0. He's a plus 1. Why am I doing this? So I rolled a 5 plus 1 is a 3, and he rolled a 1. So he ended up with a 2 and a 3. Why did he retreat? Oh, he's plus 2 for German, minus 2 for that. I was plus 1 and he was plus 1. Oh, rules mistake. I should not have been able to take that hex, because it's severe. Anyway, I attack here and fail. 3 plus 2 is a 3, and 4 plus 2 is a 3. Then it's poor weather down here in the warm zone. So I place my surprise attack marker in C zone 16. And the 12th Fleet and Gibraltar unit comes on second convoy escorted by the 12th Fleet into C zone 7. It's like, you can intercept me here. I'm not sure what he's attacking me with. Is it the Italian Navy? Yeah. The Italian Navy came at me. Now it's minus 1 and halved against my 0 and halved, because I'm plus 2 for American, minus 2 for being a convoy. He rolled a 1 minus 1, so I got through. And he took a sortie. And then I moved into the surprise attack marker zone, so now I get an extra plus 1. So the carrier is plus 3, minus 2 for sorties. It's plus 2 for American, plus 1 for being a carrier, minus 2 for its sorties, minus 2 for the weather. So it's a minus 1. But then it gets a plus 1 for the surprise attack marker, so it becomes a 0. And he can declare that as my invasion hex. He chose not to intercept me. I said, okay, I land in Cadiz, and then I'm going to move into Gibraltar. And he started to put his fleet there, and he said, no, I want to have my fleet in Algiers. If I were him, I might have put it in Lisbon, or even as far north as Corona, or just so it can intercept more sea zones. And then I chose to not. This is a mistake. I'm not allowed to go to Cherbourg. I had to stay in where I was at, and when I came to Cherbourg, it would have taken another sortie. He goes. What's he going after here? His jets. Oh, his jets are going after this bombed marker with his. I think it's his aircraft here. So that he's plus 1, 2, 3. It's plus 2 for German, plus 1 for sortie, so that's 3, 4, 5. It should be like plus 5. I'm going to have him plus 3. Again, we're not doing our math right. I'm minus ridiculous. And it didn't matter. He rolled high enough that it wouldn't have mattered either way. And he did try to stop me the second time, but he only rolled a 3, which was halved. So, and he said, just go ahead and drop your 4 bombed markers. I just did. And what do we do next? Now I think I'm doing supply. Maybe. Oh no, I tried to do a silly attack here with the with this, and I didn't realize that I was putting myself out of supply. It's poor weather, so I'm like minus 3 plus 2. I'm like minus 1 to 0 or something like that. Oh no, he's in the desert, so it was fair. So it's plus 1 to 0. I rolled miserably with a 4. He rolled a 3, so nothing happened. That was that. We go into supply subphase. Partisans come back in 1 turn. So I'm just marking guys that I'm supplying, and he's like, as long as you're escorting, I'm not going to really do anything for a while. He did intercept the last supply in the Bay of Biscay with the Vichy. He rolled a 3 half to a 2. I rolled a 5, -1 is a 4, half to a 2, so I'm fine. And I think we were done. We're off to the Soviets. And we forgot to put the low supply marker on him. So now we're off to the Soviets somewhere. I can't remember what I did up here. It's poor weather in the north, so I think most of what I did was up here. Yeah, we try to take out the Italian. So I'm 1 for the shock army, 2 for the army, 2 for the shock. So I'm +5, then -2. So I'm a 3, and he's a 0. I throw in heavy artillery, so I go up to +5. And an airplane is +6. I rolled an 11, and he rolled a 5, which is just a retreat. Or it's a DD rather. And he's allowed to retreat into Brest because he can pick any one of these guys to retreat from, so he picks the shock army. He put a 1 hex gap in there, and this is a controlled city, so he's allowed to retreat in there even though it's in the zone control of this shock army. So that's just sort of instructive to when you do a multi-hex attack like that, if there's a city next to it, he can retreat into the city. And I went ahead and took it with the tanks army, slowly but surely crossing the Pripyat River here in the marshes to try and push my way through. I rolled 6 for the heavy artillery, so it's not coming back till May. I did an assault there with the shock army. I am 2, 1 for elite, 1 for armor, and 2 for the shock, so that's 3. And I threw in heavy artillery and another airplane, so I went up to 6 to 2. I rolled an 11, he rolled an 8, so that was a retreat, so we took that hex. And then we went after this guy because he's isolated. And we threw in an airplane. So I was like +5, I think. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yep. Threw in the tanks as well. So I got a 5 + 5 is a 10, and he got a 5, so I just went ahead and took it, and then I flew this airplane up so it'd be closer. And I'm like, I need to get somebody running up here. It just kind of left a hole in my line there. And then came around here to do an assault. So I became a 2, so it didn't happen. Then I went 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, which takes Romania's down to willpower of 2. Okay. And I didn't do any more attacks. So we went right, the Soviets were all in supply. They didn't have anybody sticking out their noses. And we're in the no supply phase. Nobody took anything off. Axis do replacements. Did some fleet stuff for the Italians and their airplane. I think he's doing airplanes in the west and in the east. And then he was down to so now he's down to 8. And this is the UK. I'm doing all my supply. Just kind of rambling through here. It's nothing's, or not supply, but replacements. Nothing's really contested anymore. So I'm just getting back airplanes. The Russians get back theirs. Italians that were in mobilization at this point. Oh, that's what I did there. I should go back and show that. The big thing you saw me do here a minute ago was the upgrade phase. This tank army here. Did I get an upgrade this turn? I guess I didn't. He built a Turk and an Italian, Spain. Puts down some Germans and another German aircraft. So the German Air Force is coming back full force. I built my last, my dead guards unit I put there. And we're at victory check and in turn phase. So this is us just getting stuff back into the tracks from the turn track. Let's put this down in the corner. So, you know, he gets back his jets, his tanks, and his surface action. I get a partisans and some tanks. Heavy artillery for the Russians, a surprise attack mark for the US, and an upgrade counters for the Soviets. And the reason why those are coming in there is because we're playing variable entry, so the units don't come in on the historical dates. They come. I got lucky on those. They came in early, and his stuff came in late. His SS Panzer. It'll come in. I think it's in February. Okay, and I think that's that. And then he rolled weather, and it was 544. So we're in December, so it's just whatever he rolls. Where's the player card? There it is. Ding, 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 ding. So 5 in December is severe. 4 is poor. And 4 is poor. So there we are. Nobody declares war. Get rid of these things. We're going to need that in a minute. Oops. Gotta have focus on the map. Nobody declares war. He's down to 30 production points this turn. He did pick up a factory, so he's at 8. And he's down 8. So 15 minus 8 is 7, plus 8 is 15. So he's at 30 production points. So, you know, going into end of 1944 and the Germans are at 30 production points, it's kind of sad. So we're back to our the Russians are up to 56 production points now. The Germans are at, it's +1 to +4. I played my partisans. So he rolled a 4 + 1 as a half to a 3. And I rolled a 2 + 4 as a 6. So I got him up to 9. Partisan comes back in 3 turns, so it'll be back in March. And then it was +4 to +6 because I had 4 bound markers. He rolled a 2 + 4 was a 6. I rolled a 1 + 6 is a 7, so he's back down to 8. So he'll be at 30 again next turn. And strategic movement, I have no idea what he does here. Oh, he brought an Italian up into Antwerp. He didn't want to give me an invasion. I said, you know, I'm going to strategically move this guy to there so that he ends in supply. Not sure if that's actually legal. I think you have to start in supply. I know you have to end in supply. I can't remember if you have to start in supply. So that might have been an illegal strategic move. I was trying to figure out where to put this infantry units. Like, I need something to back up these guys that are going to be pushing in the south. So now we're in operations phase, and you know, here we go again. We're going to try and get that. It's to push me across from here. He rolls a 2 plus 3. What are we in? 4 over here? Oops, wrong thing. Weather, please. Oh, it's severe over here. So it was, 2 plus 3 halved down to a 3. I did, and I plus 1, so I needed to roll 1 for him to push me. So I held there. He comes down here and does this one. The attack on Conus, which is 2, 3, 4, minus 1, so it's plus 3 and halved. And I rolled a 1, so I'm flipped again. He goes after me with the armored unit. He's plus 2, minus 1 for the city is plus 1. 3 plus 1 is a 2, so he doesn't get me. Moves the Turk up. I'm on the poor side, so he has to do an assault. He's at minus 1 for the weather. I'm at minus 3. I'm at minus 2. I must have thrown a tanks. And he moves that Turk over there for some reason. And so moves this Spaniard down here. Contain the Gibraltar guy and take his city next turn. There's this Spaniard over there, and they all attack the 5th. So the tank is 2, and then 3, 4 first, and minus 1 because it's poor. It should be plus 3. Why is he plus 5? 3, 4, 5. He should be minus 1 for... There we are. Plus 4 to plus 2. He rolls a 5 plus 4 is a 9. Oh, I threw in an airplane, so it was plus 4. Plus 3, rather. So he rolled a 9, I rolled a 6, so I'm retreated. Moves the para infantry up to there. Moves the Vienna infantry this way. Moves another Yugoslav up to backstop the line. And because Bulgaria has not been declared war on, he's like, oh, it's a neutral. I'll just use it. So let's see if we can make this guy retreat. So he's plus 1 to plus 1. And I went ahead and threw a tanks in, so I was plus 2, and the airplane, so I'm plus 3. So he rolled a 2 and I rolled a 6. 3. Getting ready to take back that city. And that was a suggestion in Spanish. I didn't realize I'd taken a factory. So he's in a supply subphase. Does his convoy for the Italians to be built in supply. And we're into Western Alexian subphase. It's all poor weather, so I said, well, let me see if I can push you off the Somme. Since I got my partisans right back, I went ahead and used them. Since I have British involved, I can use British airplane out of there. He threw in tanks. Did he throw in his aircraft too? I thought he was going to throw in his aircraft, but he chose not to. So it was plus 6 to plus 1. Rolled an 11, he rolled a 6, so he's just retreated. What the heck was that? He was like, well, you could move this guy up and then try to push through. I'm like, it's going across the river and whatnot. That doesn't work. So we just go after the Vichy guy. So we're like one for American, 1 for armor, plus 2 for a buddy is 4, minus 1 is plus 3. I think I throw an airplane, plus 4. Plus 4 to 0, I rolled a 9, and he rolled a 1. So I get a DE, and I'm like, but this is horrible. So then I decided to go ahead and try and take out the Spaniard because, hey, he can't retreat, right? So it's the same thing, throwing another airplane, so it's +4 to 0. I rolled a 10, and he rolled a 4. 10 to a 4 on the combat results table, for those of you that want to check, it's a DD. So he's flipped, and then he can't retreat. So he is eliminated, and I took the heck. So I advanced the line a little bit into Vichy territory. Took a will point off the Vichy, took a will point off the Spanish. It's not that big a deal because I can't really afford it. And then I flew that airplane up into England so that I could replenish it fairly easily. And I flew this one down here because I need to have something to defend the troops. And now we're doing the bombing run again. He goes in with jets, so he's -2 for weather, +2 for German, -1 for sortie, +1 for jet. So he's at 0, and I'm at minus ridiculous. Why is he +1? Oh, jets gives him a +2. Sorry, jets gives him a +2. Yeah, so he's +1 to my minus ridiculous amounts. He rolled a 4, which was enough. And I start flying other airplanes. He goes, go ahead. So I get my 4 bombed markers back. And then we're in the supply phase, so I do not think he had anything that he could intercept me with. I had to roll my partisans. He came back in 1 turn again. So partisans are getting a lot of use in this winter offensive here. So I got those guys, and he's like, as long as you're escorting, I don't care. And this guy is in supply now. And now we're into the Russians. And I said, well, let's just go ahead and move the convoy down here. And I do an assault on the German. Threw in a tank, so I was 2, 3, 4. Do I throw an airplane in here? 5. -1. So I'm +4 to +2. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It should be only +4. There we go. I rolled a 9. He rolled a 5, so he's retreated. I chose not to take the hex, and I moved this guy in instead and attack the Romanian with both of those guys, so that I'm 1 + 1 is 2, -1 is +1. I think I threw an airplane in from the north. No, I threw another tanks marker in. So I'm grand total of +2, and then I rolled a 3, so it's a 5, but he rolled a 2, so he's flipped. So, yay. I said, well, what the heck, I'll come in and attack. I'm at -2. Threw in my airplane. So that'd be +1 for elite, +1 for the airplane, -2 for the stuff. So I'm a 0 to a -2. I rolled a 4, and he rolled a 3 -2 is a 1. So the Romanians are eliminated, and I got another willpower from them, so they're down to. I don't remember. Doesn't look like I took them down a will point. It should be down to 1 willpower. Just don't see me moving it. There it is. Okay. Yeah, Romania is down to 1 willpower left. We're in severe up here, so it's kind of like, yeah, I'm, 1 for elite +1 guy is +2 -1, so I'm like +1 to 0. I rolled a 2, so it didn't matter. I moved down here to try and take out Vilnius, so it's 1, 2, 3. -1, so it's +2 to +2. Don't make him move with a 2. Then I go ahead and attack this infantry, trying to get if I can get a retreat there, I can get an isolation on Riga. So I'm a 0 to his. Should have actually been +2. I don't know why. We didn't give him his +2 there, but Just kind of getting set for the next poor weather turn where I can have sort of 3 hex attacks lined up to just do things come the next turn. Because March and April will be poor in the cold zone at best. So, yeah, we're all the way to the replacements. Soviets are in supply. Nobody took anything off. So now he's cleaning up his Italians. He started to try to do builds. I said, wait till the build phase. So he's reset his aircraft very well. And this is the West. I'm just resetting my... And then the East, I do my airplanes, and I go ahead and do the convoy because I had points that I didn't know what to do with. Upgrades. This is where I have upgrades. So that tanks army, the 6 tanks, becomes the 2nd Guards army. Yay! And then I took off an infantry unit from the forest behind Minsk and the one that was in the mountains by Riga and put a Guards army there, the 9th Guards. And mobilization for the Axis. He built his Yugoslav, built his Italian, built his Romanian. Notice he built a Romanian garrison. Reason being is you do not want to give me, in case he forgets, you don't want to give me an attack on here. If I can kill the Romanian infantry, he would collapse. So he can't really build his infantry more. He can throw out Romanian garrisons to be cannon fodder in various places on the line. But at 1 willpower, I either have to take his capital or kill a unit. So if he doesn't give me a unit that gives me a willpower, I have to take the capital, which means I have to fight Germans, which is what he wants. Built another airplane, built a garrison. We go into the Soviets because the British didn't have any points to build anything. I only had 1 guy, so I went ahead and built him where the convoy is. And we're done with diplomacy phase. Victory check. End of turn, where we get stuff back off the turn track. Actually, that's going to be... need to have it out here a little bit so you can see. So coming out of January, we get... the Russians get their tanks. The Germans get a bunch of stuff too. I get a partisans back. He gets his jets, tanks. Now, the Vichy surface action can no longer attack me in the Atlantic until he takes back Gibraltar because it doesn't have a legal naval movement path to port. Because it can't base in Tangiers on the way. Active minor rules. Non-cooperation rules. So you got a submarines. I got my free forces. Got another Russian partisans. Got my airdrop marker for the West. And we're in January. Ta-da. So we're in January of 1945. We're going to be doing weather here very quickly. He rolls a 6, 6, and a 5. He couldn't ask for better weather going into March. It's severe. It's severe. It's severe. Hurricane whatever showed up in Europe. Severe weather everywhere, which means I can do absolutely no invasions. The prize attack marker is useless. Everything's going to be halved with no airplanes or armor bonuses. So again, everything's pretty much useless. Ground supports and heavy artillery are the only things that are going to make a difference. So there you have it. That's January and February of 1945. Oh no, that was November and December of 1945. We will do January and February next time. He's waiting for February where he gets his heavy artillery and he can blow me out of Paris or something like that. But going into January, it's severe everywhere. I can't really do anything. He just really good weather at the right time. It's going to help the German defense. Poor weather, I can get some bonuses out of airplanes and things, but with severe, I don't get anything. And his inherent +2 for his units in severe means that at best I'll get a retreat here and there. And he doesn't have really anything, threatened other than Yugoslav. He doesn't have anything really threatened to be encircled. He can always get villainous out before I do some kind of push. So he's pretty well set. He's fixated on Kaunas for some reason, but okay. But I mean, basically, I'm on the mountains in Romania, in eastern Poland, and Lithuania is where I'm fighting. I'm not even to Germany yet, and we're going into 45. So I'm behind the curve on the Soviets a bit, and the West is also behind the curve because by the winter of 45, January, you want to be knocking on the Meuse River and the Low Countries, and I'm like 2 or 3 hexes from that, and a whole lot of hexes in the south. Part of that is due to the fact that I don't have any, I had no pressure in the south, so that I could not take out Italy, or of course he's got Spain and Vichy, and he's got all sorts of minor allies. Did I do the who's ally on this? Yes, I did. So he's got Spain, Turkey, Italy, Romania, Vichy France, Yugoslavia, Finland, Sweden, and then French North Africa went over to him, but it didn't put anything out. He activated it, but it surrendered. I had Syria do the same thing for the West, and I've got Portugal that he conquered, Greece, Norway, Poland, Iraq, Hungary, Denmark, the Netherlands, and Belgium. All of them are conquered. So, woohoo. Does he have, I didn't put that in there, did I? Oh, well, we'll just have to fix that, because Ireland is actually in the war as a Western ally. And these 3 things are just, got absorbed by the Russians. So there's only one neutral left, it's Bulgaria. And yeah, I think by July 1945, I might declare war on Bulgaria just so I can say every miner got either activated or, got activated and got in the war, just for kicks. Anyway, November, December of 1944, not a lot happened. As always, I'm Dren608. If you like my videos, hit that likes button, the little thumbs up to help the algorithms in YouTube to keep this up for other people to find. If you really like what you're seeing, go ahead and subscribe. You'll hit the notify button, and you'll be notified whenever I upload another video. Until we meet again, stay safe, and bye-bye.